And 1841 East Cedar Road in Texas, so we call meeting to order at 6:01. And we will stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we have public participation.
No one has signed up for public participation. We are here for the public hearing.
Okay, we want Chief Briggs.
Yes, good evening, Chair and Directors. Welcome to our meeting tonight. I just wanted to introduce a few new faces. Since your last time we met, we have a new attorney, Ms. Patricia Adams, who's been with us for a while, but as you know, we had retired. And then also we have Ellen E. Beadle. She is our new town planner. She's been with us for a while as well, in the council meetings. And tonight we have Stockton Cobb with planning consultant that works in her firm. So just wanted to welcome them.
Thank you. Okay, so our presentations will consist of a statement of appointed officials and oath of office to the newly appointed and or reappointed commissioners. Brandon?
Yes, ma'am. I need directors Noller, Lieber, and O'Brien to stand up, please. And in front of you, you have a statement of elected and appointed officer. You'll need to raise your right hand and then repeat after me. We're gonna start the statement of elected/appointed officer, and then we'll move on to the oath. I state your name.
I, Shimon Yoder,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I have not directly
that I have not directly,
or indirectly paid,
paid,
offered, promised to pay,
offered, to say,
contributed,
contributed,
or promised to contribute
or promised to contribute
any money or thing of value,
any money or thing of value,
or promised any public office
promised to any public office,
or employment for the giving
or appointed to give a giving,
or withholding of a vote
or withholding of vote
at the election at which
at the election at which
I was elected,
is elected,
or as a reward to secure
or as a reward to secure
my appointment
my appointment
or confirmation,
or confirmation,
whichever the case may be,
whichever the case may be.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, and you'll need to date and sign this and then pass them to me, or keep them until the end of the meeting. And then Director Noah, we have one more to do. And now we're gonna do the oath of office, is the second page. So I state your name,
I, Shimon Yoder,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Bartonville
of Bartonville
Board of Adjustment
Board of Justice
Director for the town of Bartonville,
for the town of Bartonville,
Texas,
Texas.
and will to the best of my ability
To the best of my ability,
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
and the ordinances of the town of Bartonville,
and the ordinances of the town of Bartonville.
so help me God.
So good.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we move to the appointment of the officers. So we'll need to appoint vice chair. If anyone would like to make a nomination for a vice chair. I would like to nominate Jim Lee. And we need a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Yes, Jim.
I don't really want it.
You don't really want it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's nuts.
Oh, okay. Nominate.
Right.
And
Nominate That's right.
Siobhan, Brian, okay, and a second for that one?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor of that? Siobhan, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now we'll move to the public hearing. So we will discuss and consider the approval of the April 30th, 2025 Board of Adjustment meeting minutes. So they should be in your packet of when you can do it. If you had a chance to read them. Does anyone, want to make a motion on the minutes? I make a motion to approve. Okay, and to the second,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Chair Mel, could you please bring your mic toward you, it's kind of hard to hear you.
Okay, is that better? Does that make a difference?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, it's red.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I didn't notice. Okay, so now we will conduct a public hearing to consider a variance request to reduce the building setbacks and to reduce the minimum lot size requirement of approximately 2.2 acre property legally described as tract 18A out of the MVP and PRR County Survey, abstract number 928, Town of Bartonville, Denton County, Texas. And it's addressed as 1321 Bridal Fifth Road, Bartonville, Texas 75022. The requested variance would allow the property to be platted as is required by the Texas local government codes and the Town of Bartonville subdivision ordinance. The property is generally located west of Red Rock Lane or Porter Road, and north of Cross Timbers Road, Denton County property ID 241-673, town file number VAR 2025004. So we will have a staff presentation. So the town planning consultant, you'll raise your right hand. Okay, and do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth? So help you God.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, thank you. So your first agenda item on public hearings is regarding this property that's at the southwest corner of Bridal Bit Road and Bridal Bit Road. The property has an existing house and structures, accessory structures. So the accessory structures must meet the same setback requirements of the main structure in this particular zoning district. It's my understanding that they would like to purchase the property that follows the fence line along the rear end of their property, which is the western property boundary. You can see in the exhibit up on the screen. Do you have it on your? You do?
Yes.
Okay, very good. You have it on your laptop as well. There's an area that's grayed in, and then there's a red dashed line. The red dashed line generally represents a fence line. So when someone's looking at the property, it feels like that's the backyard or the rear property boundary. However, the actual meets and bounds description, legal description for the property identifies it as that straight line that says labeled as current property boundary. So they are wanting to purchase land from the property owner to the west and add it to this lot because of the existing fence line, and that's just how, the property feels that would be the overall parcel configuration. The state of Texas, as well as your subdivision ordinance, require that if property less than 5 acres is transferred, it needs to be platted. So I commend them for wanting it to be platted. A lot of times folks just move forward with closings and trading land or selling land without complying with the regulations. Unfortunately, there's not what we call in the planning business, we say there's no plat police to go look for these issues. And it usually comes up later when someone wants to add an accessory structure or add on to their house. And then it's realized that things weren't properly transferred in the beginning. So they do want to plat the overall property into one lot, including the property to the west. The existing parcel is not platted. So once again, it's great that they're wanting to plat. They have submitted a minor plat application, and depending on whatever action the board takes, that plat would need to reflect what they are wanting to do. A couple of other things associated with this item, and you had your agenda packet with a report in it. And after talking with the city attorney, we're changing direction on a couple of things. When the plat came in, the property that's up there in the yellowish color identified as right-of-way dedication. That's, most of that area is already, is filed 30-foot right-of-way easement. So we do have right-of-way in some form. It's not a platted right-of-way dedication. But most attorneys will say if it has anything to do with a right-of-way easement or labeled as a road easement, then it does serve that purpose. I've also talked with the city engineer about the Bridle Bit Road, and we do have what's also called a prescriptive right-of-way for that property, for that area. So we are recommending now that that area not be right-of-way dedication, that it be just maintain the existing easement, because then the property won't fall under the 2-acre minimum for the zoning district, so that would not be a variance that we should be deciding on. And then second, the same thing along the other Bridle Bit Road on the eastern side. I've labeled that one as a right-of-way easement, and it should be measured 30 feet from the center line of the roadway. The exhibit that came in that's on your screen shows a 30-foot right-of-way easement on that property boundary, and it's measured from the property boundary and not the center line of the roadway. And I know I've totally confused all of you. It is a little bit complicated, but once again, if we have it as an easement, that's better than no easement at all. So that we can get in there and do road repairs, any type of utilities that we might need to be able to access. Once again, the city engineer said it does fall under what's considered a prescriptive right of way, but it's always better to have the actual easement. So those two areas in yellow would go forward where for the minor plat as easements. So then let's get into the building setbacks. You can see the shop building in the upper northwest corner of the property. And then there's also kind of an L shape pergola, and both of those fall within the required rear yard setback as well as the front side yard setback. We call corner lots front and side yards because the code requires that side yard adjacent to a street on a corner lot is 2 front yards. This is a little bit more of a zoom in for that area. The blue line represents the 50-foot building setback. So the exhibit that's up there now is the original exhibit with different lines on it dashed in blue that illustrate the, I guess, recommended building lines that they've submitted on the minor plat. So the building line would not be measured from the right-of-way line. It would be measured from the center line of the roadway. There's a difference between easement and right-of-way. If it's right-of-way and dedicated, it's not part of your property, you can't measure the setback from there. So the property line would be the center line of Bridle Bit Road up there. So it changes the setbacks for the property. So we're looking at now for that front setback along the northern Bridle Bit Road going from a 50-foot setback to a 28-foot. And as I mentioned earlier, we're recommending that when the property is platted, that yellow area become an easement and not dedication. I've circled in red the area that is the existing road easement. And then along the eastern bridle bit roadway frontage, it's labeled as right-of-way easement, and we've crossed out the area where it said, right-of-way dedication for that area. It also illustrates the land area that's to be transferred to this lot or this tract. It's not a lot yet. The pergola is recommended to have a building setback of 44 feet. Because the pergola encroaches into that 50 foot rear yard setback. And then the last one, number 3, it no longer applies because the property will be over 2 acres for the required minimum lot area for this zoning district. That easement, the easement on the northern property boundary keeps it at that over the threshold of 2 acres. If it was right-of-way dedication, as they originally proposed, it was dropping down to 1.9, which obviously is not 2 acre minimum. Your regulations have a number of approval criteria, and Texas Local Government Code does it as well. So you are to evaluate a request with these 9 particular items. And I think you have in front of you,
Yes, we have a summary of that.
we do, okay, very good.
Can we ask questions?
Yes. I did wanna run through these next 2 real quick. So we have options if it's approved. The variance request would allow the property to be platted with the reduction in those side yards. We don't need to go below the minimum anymore. And we want to make sure that it does state that these are for existing structures. That if somebody, whoever the current owner or a new owner wants to come in and build another shed or some other type of structure, they have to comply with those 50-foot rear yard and side yard setbacks. They can't go below. So the variances are only applicable to the existing structures, the 2 structures that are not in compliance. If it's denied, that means the property would not be in compliance with the zoning regulations, even the accessory restrictions, and the property couldn't be platted. Public hearing notices were sent as required, and have we had any no for or support, okay. And I just want to remind you folks that per the Texas Local Government Code, we need a 75% vote in favor. So that means 4 out of 5 of the members have to vote in favor for it to be approved. It's not just a simple majority. So should you determine that the application could be approved, a proposed motion might be that per the Texas Local Government Code in the specific section, a structure hardship could be applied. But the right-of-way width along the north right-of-way shall be a road easement in lieu of right-of-way dedication. So we would no longer need this minimum lot area variance. The minimum front side setback along the northern property boundary shall be 40 feet for the existing shop and not applicable to future structures. The rear yard setback shall be 44 feet for the existing pergola and not applicable to future structures. The road easement along the east side of the property shall be measured 30 feet from the center line of Bridle Bit Road. Okay, I'll stop talking and ask questions.
I just want to summarize from my own understanding if I could. So you answered part of that. Shop and pergola are already built.
Yes,
So this submission is really to comply. They want to buy additional land to make their lot size 2 acres. And in doing so, they also want to change this dedication to an easement. And they want to modify, we need to approve the variance footage but only for existing structures. That's the three things they're asking for.
Most of that is correct. The applicant had turned in the minor plat showing the northern property boundary as right-of-way dedication. So they are just now hearing this evening, that we would like it to go back to the easement so that they don't fall under the 2-acre minimum.
And that's better for access in the future as well.
We can, yes.
Anything else? Okay,
The surveyor for the applicant is here and they're ready to do a short presentation if you'd like to hear what they have to say as well.
definitely for the applicant presentation, okay, if they wanna step forward and raise their right hand. So I can swear you in, so
You can come up to the
can
podium.
you state your name and address?
Steven Zimmer, 1409 in San Marino, in Texas.
Okay, if you raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sorry. Yeah, board members, I just like to add Helen's presentation pretty thorough and thorough. Really, we're just trying to match the existing conditions legally on the lot, what is on the ground already. Yeah, just keeping the for dropping it less than 2 acres, but now that's not an issue now anymore. That's no big deal. There's just, yeah, we're just trying to move that west boundary line to match the existing fence line there. And yeah, in doing so, we're just trying to conform to the subdivision regulations there. And make it all legal and conform to it.
And I assume the neighbor west of the addition is selling and won't be under 2 acres.
It's 10 acres there, and they're willing to sell, they're just waiting for the variance to be approved or something.
So the property that the house is on, are they the ones buying that little sliver of land?
Yes.
So you're the one buying it, so it will actually make your property large.
Yes,
Okay,
there's about 1/10 of an acre, and
Is that
from the west boundary line to the fence. That they're trying to. Or it might be 2/10 of an acre though. And it's not a large chunk, it's just.
okay.
Did the current property owners build this pergola and shop?
No. Well, yeah, it was there when they bought it, but they didn't build it, no.
Do you know if it was there before the property got annexed, or if that was built after the property got annexed, or would you know?
I would not know.
How long have they been in?
They just bought the owners now of the house, they just bought it. Probably a month ago. And then when doing that, as the process of buying it, realize the boundary line is not to the fence over there, so now they're trying to buy that piece from the adjoiner and move it over there.
So they're truly just trying to make it legitimate,
Yes,
conforming.
yeah, there are no plans to build any existing, tear down a house and rebuild or anything, just trying to buy that piece of land to match the fence line there.
Yeah, if there's no other questions for him, then we'll have a public hearing. And we'll open the public hearing at 6:24.
We do have one that signed up, still on speak.
Well, I signed up in case I had questions, but, cause I live across the street and they do too.
But do you want to speak, because if you want to speak, she needs to come up and get sworn in, or does she not?
If you want to ask questions or speak, yes, you need to get up and go, but if you don't want to, you don't have to.
That were really nice.
Okay, can you state your name and address?
Gwen Phillips, 1464 Brattlebit Road.
Okay, and she gets sworn in, Shannon?
Yes,
Okay, so you raise your right hand, okay, and do you swear now or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Nothing can do.
Correct.
Was it here for her? Oh, okay.
My question was, I'm not understanding if the current fence is the new boundary or the old boundary.
It'll be the new boundary of what's being proposed.
Okay, and just for clarification to your question, the people that built all this also own the 10 acres to the west,
Oh, okay.
and they couldn't get a buyer that wanted both, so they split it up.
So they sold the house first, now they're trying to sell the property.
Yeah, hopefully they won't split it up.
Do you know how long these have been here? These structures?
We actually talked about that, I don't remember when we became Martinville, but it might have been before we became Martinville.
Okay.
So I know it's been there 15 or more years probably. So they were great neighbors, but if that's any clarification for you, so my question was just about the fence line, and is the barn that is now a house where their mother lived, is that in the 10 acres, or is that part of?
This property only has the 3 structures, so I don't know about. I don't know about any of the other.
Okay,
It's
and,
just,
and just FYI, you're gonna have the same issue when. Cause the property to the south has that big warehouse that literally is right on the property line, so. Just FYI for all of you guys,
Does that look like a commercial type?
it is. Yeah. Good. Jerry and Charlie are our neighbors also, so that's all I had was the one question.
Okay, thank you. You don't want to look at that on the.
yeah, I guess it up right now, and we verified that the main structures were in 2002. But I need to verify the other structures.
Cause that was one of my questions, I may not have phrased it well, was by selling off this sliver. Does it put any other pieces of land out of compliance? And the answer was no.
Correct.
No.
But we're not worried about that warehouse.
That's on the property to the south. That's not part of this property.
I'm just saying, you'll have a variance when the next property gets platted.
Okay, thank you.
So do we have any other speakers? Yeah, so do we have anyone that wants to speak in opposition? No. So then we have. No rebuttals? So, can we go into our executive session?
You need to close the public hearing.
Okay, close the public hearing at 6:28. And I would like to take this into, an executive session under pursuant to the Open Meeting Act, Chapter 551, the Board of Adjustments will convene into a closed executive session in accordance with the Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with the town attorney to seek legal advice of its attorneys concerning the agenda item number 1, time being 6:29, and we will convene into the Board of Adjustment into closed session. We need to take one computer, one of the iPad, that. Or, I guess go ahead and take it, I mean.
Is there anything opposed to stay?
So we'll go.
Have questions for the attorney.
Okay, should we just probably won't pay for it. Wait. In TV. If the will reconvene into a regular session at 6:59. For further discussion, so.
So I have a question, the shop. It says the north boundary will be 40 feet, there's also another boundary.
Yes, the rear boundary shall be a 28 foot, so the rear yard setback for the shop is 28 feet to meet the existing location.
And if approved, they cannot, it's only applicable to this structure, they cannot go backwards. They could build inward on the land and still apply,
Correct.
still be within compliance. And the reason easement is effective is it allows them to measure from the center of the road
Right.
versus dedication.
And then we don't fall under the 2 acres.
Any other questions?
No, and the reason that they can do that is mostly because that's not a main thoroughfare. It's kind of a dead end street, so that makes it easier to
That's,
justify that.
you're right, and as your attorney said, we always prefer, and I said it earlier too, we prefer dedication, but we do have the ability to get in there. And make improvements. There's already an existing 30-foot easement along that property boundary.
Okay.
And it has actually been purchased, or the owners are, it's intended to be purchased if this gets approved.
Correct. It's in limbo right now, yeah, once it's, yeah.
Would this apply if this purchase fell through and somebody else wanted to buy, or would they have to go back through this process?
It would be for this property, just because it changes hands, it wouldn't have an effect.
But the variance is an amendment to zoning, so it goes with the land.
So I make a motion,
Okay, and so does anyone have any other questions, comments, or ready to come or anything? Okay,
to the wrong motion, that we approve the proposal with the right of way on the north side of the lot remaining as a road easement in lieu of the dedication. So the land will be not less than 2 acres. That the minimum front side yard setback along the northern boundary will be 40 feet for the shop. But there will also be a rear side yard setback of 28 feet. Not applicable to future structures.
include the pool.
The pergola, so the rear yard setback should be 44 feet for the pergola, not applicable to future structures. And the road easement along the east side shall be 30 feet from the center line of the road dedicated. All of that criteria for approval For section A, there are special circumstances or conditions arising from the physical surroundings, shape, geography, or other feature affecting the land. Subject to the variance petition such that strict application of the provisions of the zoning ordinance to the development application would create an unnecessary hardship. Or inequity upon the petitioner, as distinguished from a mere inconvenience in developing the land, or deprive the petitioner of the reasonable and beneficial use of the land.
Do we have a second? Awesome. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Good. We got no future business?
You're skipping an agenda item. Agenda item 3.
Okay, vote to discuss and consider a regular meeting schedule for the Board of Adjustments.
Thank you. In the last couple of months, we're gonna have this meeting and we're having another one next month on December 2nd. Going through this, I think to streamline the process, it would be best if we decide a schedule, just like P and Z holds. First Wednesday of the month, ECEC second Wednesday and so forth. And that way, staff will not have to sit there and call everybody to see if we can make a meeting. And if I can't get a forum, then I have to schedule and find another day. So that way, it'll help you guys to know, that way you'll know it's on your schedule. It'll also be able, if we do set a set schedule, we can put it on our development schedule so that applicants know as well. And it'll just be able to streamline, and then the way P and D goes, if we do not get any submissions in for that month, we cancel the meeting. So we would cancel the meeting if we did not receive any submissions, and we would let you know that well ahead of time.
So just go ahead and schedule a monthly meeting.
That's what I was trying to do, and talking with the town attorneys, paralegal, and also Helen Eve. And staff, we are available the first Tuesday of the month, and that would work well with the guidelines and structure that we have with our current code of ordinances, trying to get this done within the 30 days of submission. So we wanted to see if you guys would be available to meet the first Tuesday. And of course, this is our third meeting for the year. We know that we do not meet every month. Sometimes it seems like we do, but sometimes we don't. So I would see that we would probably be canceling more of those, but it would just be easier on everybody, I think. And staff believes that once we have a set schedule, everybody knows, and then if we don't have a submission, we can go ahead and cancel it. But that would also help with on the planning side, because we have to get notices to the paper and such as. And then we have to put the 200-foot notices out in so many days prior to the meeting.
Okay. I'm good with that. Anyone have any questions?
Will it be on the development calendar that somebody has to get their submission in before?
Yes, they have 30 days, and we have a very strict deadline. We only collect the submittals on a certain day, and right now they have it. It's usually the first Monday or Tuesday, depending on if there's a holiday of the month. And that way, we would just add another column to that calendar.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Okay, all righty.
If I can get a motion that will schedule set meeting for the first Tuesday of the.
I'd like the motion that we set a schedule for the first Tuesday of the month for the Board of Adjustments. And the 7th. I'll second. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
All those opposed, go ahead. Alrighty, so now we can adjourn at 7:06. Well, we always do it 5 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. So, folks, and that would maybe